Welcome back, and here we are at technique number 5. Now, this technique is purely all about the visual, using visual content, and then specifically, this technique is about using your camera. Now, you may have a digital camera, you may have a camera which you use from your mobile or smartphone, and the lenses in smartphones are very good these days, and most people are able to take decent pictures. But just think of the opportunity and the sheer availability of content which is all around you in the world, be it inside or outside. The trick is not just to take random pictures, but to come up with a theme, to actually come up with a storyline. Now, it may be you start off just taking some random pictures. Now, in this instance, here's just some pictures of our two lovely Maine Coon cats when we first got them from the rescue shelter and we brought them home. Now, I could possibly make a story around these cats. Wonderful characters that they are, and the thing is to actually create a storyboard, follow them around, take pictures. Maybe you've got a dog, you've got a hamster, you've got an albatross, I don't know, whatever pet it is. Doesn't have to be your animals, it could be you're going on holiday and you plan to record the trip. You're going to Disneyland, or you're going on some safari, or you're just visiting the seaside. Whatever it is, take your camera with you and see if you can try and find some. When you're looking around for things to photograph, suddenly things will pop into your mind and little stories will come to mind, and you want to try and create a theme and then create a little storyboard around it, and have, again, always think of having a start, a middle and an end, and try and make it bizarre and interesting. It could be funny place names that you see. It could be scary buildings. I don't know, you see some very funny buildings and then you can build a story around it. Be careful when you're taking pictures of real people, particularly of children, because if you are taking pictures of children, you really do need to take their you need to have their permission. In the case of children, you've got to have the parental permission, almost like a disclaimer that they're happy for you to use their image or their child's image on the internet. So avoid actually taking and using pictures of children, and if you're actually taking pictures of adults, again, you almost need to have a disclaimer. You need to have a signature to say, yes, that's fine. So that's about the only reservation I'd say. The only caveat for that is if you're actually taking a picture of some kind of performance, public performance, then it's acceptable to actually take a picture, because the people taking part in the performance, clearly they know they're in the public eye and they're likely to have pictures taken of them. But if it's just an adult or a child wandering around in the street, then be wary of that. Okay, so the world is your oyster, and pure imagination. Go off with your camera and see what you can take. And I want to show you an example of what I've done, not just the cats, but I want to show you an example of a storyline which I created around a toy dog, actually. So hold on, and we'll move over to those set of slides. Okay, so here's the first page, which I'm in the process of putting together, and it's all about a toy dog called Splodge. That may not be the final name, and strangely this is a dog that I found in a toy shop in Paris years ago. For some reason I felt compelled to buy this. It just had a certain character to it, and when I was thinking about what could I do with a camera, for some reason this dog was sitting on a shelf, and I got it down. I thought, I know, I'm going to create a story about this dog, and that story was inspired by following a family on the underground, and I saw a child with a rucksack, and in the rucksack, they were obviously off for the day trip in London, and in the rucksack was a toy dog, very similar to this one, which was hanging out in the back, and it was almost about to get dropped. And I thought it would be a terrible shame if that little boy, lost their toy dog. So I tapped him on the shoulder, and he put the dog back in his rucksack. So I created a story around this dog. In other words, you give it a character to the toy, and I took it around London. I got some funny looks from people, and I actually photographed this dog around London. And I'm going to show you some of these pictures. Yep, here we go. So I live not far from London, so I often go into London, and I just, in my briefcase, took the dog and a camera, and wherever I went I took a picture of the dog. And I thought, okay, picture first, story second. the basic theme of this story was this dog got lost in London. It got left behind by its family. They were going on a day trip to London, and this is going to be the theme of the story. And I just thought, I'll get tons of pictures, then I'll work the story around it. So here's the dog at King's Cross railway station. This is before we got to the railway station, heading off on the train to get into London. And dog at this point gets abandoned, and he decides to get a taxi. And I even got the taxi driver to get involved with this, and he got quite into the theme of it. This is a dog planning his trip, and he heads off to the police because he's lost. And here he is at the police station, looking, see if he can help. He goes on the underground. He goes everywhere, by bus, even by bike, looking. He's talking to Winston Churchill here, looking for his family. I tried to get him all the icons in London, telephone boxes, by Eros in Piccadilly Circus, and Leicester Square, no, Leicester, not Hyde Park, Trafalgar Square with the lions, and I got him everywhere. Okay, even 10 Downing Street. And if the Prime Minister would have been there coming out, I would have asked him to hold the dog. And he's getting a bit late. It's time he spoke to the police. I had fun with this, as you could see. So that is my story, and then I just took as many pictures as possible. And at the very end, I thought, right, I'll come up with a cover. And here, you know, every story should finish with a happy ending. And here he is. He gets found by the family and the little boy, and he gets taken home, and a happy ending. So always a start, middle, end, structure to it. Keep it light, keep it imagination, a lot of imagination, and have a happy ending. And that's the way to go. And then I wanted to create a cover picture, and you see from this Word document, it's just a very basic blue background. I created that first, and then we'll kill that, and we'll insert another one, which was, I'm almost there, I haven't quite got it together. Insert picture. And I got a bit of art background. He's lost in London, Union Jack. I thought that'd be quite good. And then using the Pixlr software, something similar, I put the two together, and I've come up with something that is going to be pretty close to the final picture. Here we are. Here we are. Splodge gets lost in London. I'm not even sure that's the final name, whether he's going to be called Splodge, but I think he might be. He gets lost in London. Okay, so that's my story. That's what I did. I went out. You could choose an animal. You could just use your imagination and have a bit of fun. And then once you've got all the content, sit down, get the images on pages like this, and just write a little storyline. Doesn't have to be much, just a few words, and make it flow. And start, middle, end, happy ending, nice cover, good title, and then you've got all the content. And then not very long before we're going to show you the full formatting technique. We've sort of touched on that already, but a full formatting technique so it could be uploaded to Kindle and beyond. Okay, I wish you well with that. That's photograph using your digital camera. In the next technique, and the final technique that I'm showing you in this series, we're actually going to take the same content and we're going to put a spin on it. And I'll see you in the next video.